Good morning, welcome back. We're glad that you stopped in today to visit with us this morning. Well, it's another beautiful morning. Beautiful morning. Today, I've got my little queen cutter here. Uh, it's a little queen steel. It's made in the USA. Little two-blade knife. It's a pretty little bonehead knife. I got this from a friend of mine a few years back, uh, James. And I appreciate James for giving it to me. I believe it was a birthday present. He gave it to me. So I'm kind of glad to have it. And I'm going to use it today. If I got to cut something or whatever, that's what we're going to be using. All right, you always got to have a handy knife with you. Today's obviously Sunday again, so what happens on Sundays are pancake day. So we're going to fry up some pancakes, and we're going to add a little something in them that I normally don't add in them. Just want to try it. I'm up for trying new things. I don't know about you guys, so we're going to get our skillets turned on here, get our hot water pot here. That's what I use to heat up my washing up water and stuff. So we're not going to be using that this morning. So I'm going to put it aside for right now. Then we're going to get all this set up, and we're going to cook us up a little breakfast. And then we're going to have a little conversation about all this. So let me get everything straightened out here, and we'll get going. All right, let's get this stove lit here. See how easy it lights this morning. I hope all of you slept well. I did. You know, I got something that I use. I don't know if you guys do or not, but I have a rain sound that I listen to, and I use it off of my phone. I get it off of YouTube, and I have found one. I really need to kind of figure out what the title of it is, but there's a bunch of them on there. You'll have to go through and figure out which one you want anyway. But I listen to that as I sleep, and I sleep sound. You know, it's kind of white noise. A lot of people have to have white noise. Rain sound. I grew up in a house that had a metal roof as a kid, and this rain sound that I listen to uh, is pretty similar to what I grew up listening to on rainy nights and stuff. And if you've ever spent the night in a house with a metal roof, tin roof, and I'm sure a bunch of you people my age and older most likely did as a child, and some of you may still, out there still may have. Now these metal roofs, I have a metal roof on my home, but my home is insulated and stuff, so I don't hear the rain sound uh, like I did as a child because we didn't have insulation in the house. You may have some cardboard or something on the walls to keep the wind from coming in between the cracks of the boards on the house, but well, that was all. We didn't have anything what they called insulation back then. We didn't. Now, a lot of people probably did, but in the hills, we were behind times a few years. We still had the outhouse and all that type of stuff. Still cooked outside quite a bit, especially on hot days. But anyway, we are fixing to cook us up some pancakes. I'm gonna turn that back down a little bit. I probably should have. Today I'm having a little bit more problems with my memory, so you guys work with me a little bit. I'm going to turn that back off a little bit, and we're going to mix up our batter and stuff, and we are going to be ready and set to go. What do you think about that? Okay. Uh, I knew what I was fixing to do. See, that's what I told you. This morning I'm having a little difficulty with my memory, but if you'll work with me, we'll get this done. I want to cook up some sausage. That's what I was fixing to do, wasn't it? There was a reason why I had that turned on already. Yeah, we're going to cook us up some sausage. Again, I'm going to put a little oil in that. First of all, so it cooks a little better. I'm going to turn that way down because this thing gets hot fast, fast, fast. I don't know if any of you guys cooking this cast iron like I do. That's the only thing I use. And something we're going to try to do tomorrow, I believe. We're going to give it a shot tomorrow. I'm going to show you how to clean cast iron that somebody gives you or you find. It is so simple. Everybody makes it sound like it's hard to clean up a good piece of cast iron. And guys, some of this stuff is, if you buy it already cleaned up, it's pretty pricey, especially the older stuff. You know, now don't fall for this just because it's got a date on it. I mean, just because it says, somebody tells you it's old, but if it says on the back of it, made in the USA, uh, that piece is no more than 65. Let's just say 65 years old. You know, about a little my age, a little older, because they didn't start making uh, countries of import uh, and export, put the country of origin on stuff until about that time. So if you come across anything that says made in the USA and somebody tries to tell you it's 100, 200 years old, well, look it up. See if I'm right about that. If it's got made in the USA on it or anywhere else probably, it's not no more than 60, 65 years old. You know, and uh, a lot of times you'll find some of this cast iron. They'll say 18 so and so. Well, that's somebody's put out a special edition or whatever, you know, or that was a patent date or something like that. So be very leery about that. But in cast iron, buy what you like. It doesn't matter when it was made. Heck, if it was made yesterday, if it's a piece of cast iron you like, hey, that's what you want. Now, if you're kind of a little bit of a collector like I am, there's certain pieces I look for. But again, I end up using the cheapest stuff I've got to cook in. Uh, Taiwan made stuff, or a lot of times, like I said, it's not even uh, got a mark on it. Make a mark. If it's light, it usually goes into my cooking utensils. If it's light, I don't do heavy stuff. And I've got them anywhere from a couple inches round to 16 inches. I'll have to show y'all that big 16-inch one sometime. I may try to do that tomorrow. So, but getting back to my point was cast iron. Somebody gave me one just the other day. It's what made me think of this. It's all rusted up. My friend Frankie, and he's given me one before and I cleaned up. And the one he gave me before, I actually use in my home as a daily skillet, just like this one here I use for camping. But he's given me another one that he found, and it's in pretty rough shape as far as rust and stuff like that. You know, I hear people every once in a while they'll say, "Oh, you just throw it in a fire." Well, I haven't found that fire gets rid of rust. And it'll take off all that stuff that's like this right here, like I hadn't got this skillet cleaned up real good. It builds up on the side. I try not to let that happen. But apparently, uh, yesterday I let that happen. So I try to keep an eye on that so I don't all get done like that. So, uh, but I haven't found putting them in fires takes care of the rust part. Now that is what they used to do. And then they'd clean it up and stuff like that and reseason and stuff. But uh, what I'm talking about doing and showing you tomorrow makes all that not even, you don't even think about it anymore. Because it's just so simple, you know. So tomorrow, remind me, we're going to show you how to clean up a piece of cast iron. Simple, okay? Uh, Today, we're going to talk about camping and living in a vehicle. Guys, there's worlds of difference between camping in something like this and living in something like this. Okay? I camp in this. I don't live in this. Now, I could live in this. If I was a single man, I could live in this thing. Wouldn't have any issues whatsoever. Don't need any more room than this. But as a family man, that just wouldn't work out. So, yes, you could do it, and people do it. And my wife and I could do it. But the only problem is, if my wife and I moved into this, probably within a year, they'd be charging her with murder. because people who know me, and I tell my in-laws and everybody, a little bit of Larry Kelly can go a long ways. Ah, you know, I'm set in my ways, and everybody else has got their own way of doing things. So uh, she likes her space. I like my space. Whenever things gonna get kind of crowded, I could be doing something that she can go off and do what she wants to do or whatever, different part of the home or whatever. So I don't know that she and I would survive very long in this. But I watch a lot of these YouTube videos on camping and stuff, and I run across these van life, schoolie life, and all that. I have found that 90% of those, at least probably, maybe even more, are BS. Now, out of the people who live in their vehicles, I'm gonna say less than 15%. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna say 20% do it because they want to do it. They literally enjoy doing it. It's just like people who live in. I know a guy that lived in a in a tent for several years, and that's what he wanted. It wasn't because he had to do it, because he financially could have a home, do whatever he wanted to do, but that was his choice of the way he wanted to live. You know, he just loved being out in nature. I mean, I've known people who live in schoolies that they wouldn't have any other life. That's just the way they wanted to RVs. So yes, there's 10 or 15% of people and that's just what they want to do. Now, people my age group, they'll buy them an RV when they retire because they want to go travel and do things that they normally uh, wasn't able to do because they had a family to support or whatever. So this is their time in life to go see the country, and they'll buy an RV or build them a schoolie or something like that, and they'll go spend a year or two, sometimes 3 years, whatever, and see America, and maybe even travel overseas. But they're doing something that they just wasn't able to do, but they didn't. But they did that because it's so much easier to do, so much cheaper for they feel to do it that way because of motels and stuff like that, and especially since COVID and stuff like that. That that kind of ruined us on motels and hotels and stuff like that. They just couldn't find the type of help to keep those rooms and things clean, and we bought an RV, and pretty quick after COVID started, we bought an RV, and that's when we go visit. That's what we take even today. We'll take the RV. But getting back to these videos, I see these people uh, talk as if they live in these vehicles. They're doing the exact same thing as I'm doing. We'll crawl our happy butt in there. We'll go to a park and we'll spend a few days. We'll cook out and we'll enjoy nature and all that. Then we get our happy butt back in that vehicle. We go back to our comfortable home with air conditioning and recliners and bathrooms that's out of this world, some of us, facilities, you know, uh, clothes that are folded in drawers and things. Uh, but the other 80% out there, guys, are doing it because they have no other choice but to do it. I mean, housing prices and stuff like that has just gotten so outrageous. It's just unbelievable. Some of them, and they just literally can't afford to operate a home. So they move into their vehicle. They've done that for years. It ain't something that just took place in the last few years. For years, some people have been forced out into their vehicles. And I hear these people, especially a few years back, and it's kind of slowing down a little bit. they would try to convince these old people, my age and older, to sell their homes, get out in their vehicle and live in their vehicle, and the world's just so happy place and whatever. And these poor old people who were lonely thought that they were going to get out there and they were going to meet all these people and they were going to live happily ever after. Guys, from what I can see, that life is a very lonely life. Unless you've got a group that you just stay with, you know, and some of them do, and travel around and do stuff like that. But to me, listening to some of them, it really isn't any cheaper living in that situation for these people than it was living at home. Most of the people our age have got their home paid for, so it's just basically utilities. Now they're having to put fuel in their car. Now they're having to move every time, sometime every night. You can't. Some of these places you can't even spend more than 24 hours in one place. Some places, state parks, places like that, you can spend up to 2 weeks or whatever. But they're forced to move every time you turn around. They realize, hey, I've made a big boo-boo. Now they're stuck, a lot of them, because they've spent their money and everything, you know, buying this vehicle that they thought they wanted, and they, you know, decorating it out or whatever like that. So they're worse off than they were when they got started sometimes. But what gets me is those same people who have convinced these people to do all this are now, as they're getting older, are telling them that they need to buy land and they need to do all this. Well, that's where they were at before you talked them in to doing this. Rather than talking them into getting them a vehicle and going camping and enjoying their life a few days at a time, you made them sound like they were living a life that was unhappy, and to have a happier life, take all what you got and sell it, keep what you can, and put it in a vehicle and start traveling around. Well, these people don't know nobody. And I guarantee you, if you traveled and met these people that are convincing you to do this, they'll speak to you because, you know, they want you as a subscriber or whatever. But as soon as that little meeting's over, you know, you ain't gonna see them probably till next year. Or they're off by themselves. They're not, you know, they don't really have time for you, you know. So you've got to figure out, is there a group out here I can get with, and, you know, I can travel with or whatever. And then you got to be accepted by that group, you know. And like I said, we've all got our own personalities and our own way of doing things, and you may not fit into these groups that you run out of. So it could be a very, very lonely life from what I can see. So please, before you listen to somebody on this YouTube about taking off and doing all this stuff, you take about a year or so and you go camping like I'm camping. And if you see these rigs and they're all decorated up with all this pretty stuff and they're just, you know, happy-go-lucky, most likely that person is like me. We're campers. We do not live the van life or the schoolie life or the RV life. We camp, and that's all there is to it, you know. So anyway, we're going to mix up our pancake stuff here and get it going. All right, so I need a cup of flour, first of all, here. We're going to do this a little different. Last time I made up all my ingredients, then put my flour. So this time we're going to do it. I'm going to, hey, like my tin. That's something new I've added. Now I am not using all-purpose flour. The last time I made pancakes, and what it is I did the same thing I've done here. I put it in stuff that says all-purpose because I haven't been able to find one that just says flour. This is just self-rising flour. It's not again, you can use all-purpose, but you've got to put all the baking soda and powder and all that in there. So we're just going to use a cup of regular flour. Okay. And matter of fact, I'm going to get you up here, I guess, where you can see what I'm doing. So give me just a second. Okay. How's that right there? Let's go down a little bit more here. And I'm going to, since I messed with that pork again, I'm trying to learn I'm going to make sure I wipe my hands. Yeah. Okay, now then, we're going to get us a cup of flour. If we can do it without making them. What I do is I use these tins, but I also inside I put a Ziploc bag or something in all these. I'm using them if I'm, like in my cracker box. It's got a lid. It's got a box in a box, and they're packaged up. So if the items that I'm putting in here, if you notice, I got a lid. When I showed this to y'all once before, I didn't have a lid. But I also found this new can that had the lid and everything for $10. Ah! So well, I just bought the whole thing. So anyway, if it's already got something in it, like my cereal, cereal's already got packages. Uh, I don't put uh, Ziploc bags. See there, these mashed potatoes. If I open this up, see I've got a Ziploc bag. It just helps it keeps it cleaner and stuff like that. But like I said, I do this because I do not want bugs and stuff inside my camper. Okay, let's get us a cup of flour here. All right, there we go. Set that right here, and I'm gonna seal that back up and get that up out of our way. I love these old tins and stuff like this. I wish everything we did, everything we deal with today, I wish it was still in packages like it was back then. I'm gonna clean that up. I normally have my rag laying right here. For some reason I ain't got it laying right here, so I'm gonna clean that up. All right, then I'm gonna put a 3/4 cups of milk. And I'm gonna show you how I'm worried about my mind this morning, my memory stuff, issues. I've made pancakes many, many times. But today I sat down and wrote that down so that I don't make a mistake. Boo-boo. Guys, even if you've got some problems in life, kind of like I do, figure out a way to enjoy life. Figure out a way to work around it. Don't let it hold you back. I could sit in there and feel sorry for myself or whatever, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to get out here and I'm going to enjoy a life. Figure it out. All right, get that mixed up here. Because there is so much out here still to see and do. And I tell you what, I see these poor things on TV and stuff that's missing limbs, that's doing all of this, and they're still out there doing it. Here I was going to sit and feel sorry for myself. That right there ain't going to happen. I learned that many, many, many years ago. That doesn't accomplish one thing. All right, now we're going to break us an egg and stick it in there. Something I normally do that I've kind of gotten out of the habit of doing is whenever I'm breaking an egg into something like this, I normally break it into something else and then pour it in here. That way, if you get shells or something, it's not in what you've been cooking and end up ruining your meal trying to find the shells. Okay, so we're gonna whip that up in there. All right. Okie dokie. Now then we're going to put 2 tablespoons of oil in this. There's one, two tablespoons of oil. Wipe this down. I don't want that oil all over everything. I'll give these a better cleaning whenever we get down here. We're gonna whip that up in there. Boy, that looking good. Okay. All right. Then we're going to put us in 1 tablespoon of sugar. Wipe it back down again here. I'm going. All right. I think it's whipped up there pretty good. Now, then I'm going to turn this stove back on. All right. Now then, actually I'm hooked up to shore power right now. If I wasn't, I've got a power pack that I could do this with. But since I'm hooked up to shore power, we're going to do add a little something. Get this over here so you can see it. We're going to take this sausage that we cooked up. We're going to stick it in this chopper right here. I think that's enough. I got that. We're going to chop it up. Turn that down. See, that skillet held its heat that entire time. Let's see if we can't get a little bit better shot. I'm going to try to set this up. Yeah, it held its heat really, really good. All right, we're going to take and we're going to dump that sausage in here. Maybe not all of it. We're going to mix it up in that pancake. You know what? We're just going to put her all in there. What do you think? Yeah. Oh, don't you know that looks good? Let's scoot that off right there. I got one more step. All right. Then we're going to grab our cinnamon. Because that's something I love in my pancakes is cinnamon. And I don't measure this out. I just put whatever I want to put in it. Depends on how much you like cinnamon. Is that a pretty color? All right, let's put that back on here. And we're going to give the first one its shot here. We'll set that over there. Here we go. I need to turn that back up just a smidgen. I like my pancakes thin. Yeah. And I like them again. I've told y'all before, I like mine a little bit crispy around the edge. And the best way to tell if your pancake's getting ready to turn, watch for the little bubbles in there. And I know y'all know that. You've cooked long enough. But if you don't, you're new at trying to fix pancakes. When you start seeing bubbles come up around, it's about that time to flip them. Again, this morning I'm hungry. I don't know what it is uh, about eating outside, knowing you're going to come out and eat or whatever. Uh, you get an appetite. It wasn't as hot as I thought it was. When you switch from one stove to the next, sometimes it takes a little bit to figure out exactly what it is you ought to be doing. Oil in there. I use quite a bit of oil, as y'all can see, when cooking. It gets right up to the right temperature. It won't take long to cook these. I was thinking that skillet was a lot hotter than what it was. All right, pancake one. Now this one ought to cook a little faster because I've got the temperature turned up. I'm going to design me a base, and no matter where I'm at, kind of like how you raise and level your refrigerators and dishwashers and uh, uh, wash machines and stuff. I'm going to rig me up something so that when I get somewhere and I park, because I just can't seem to get just exactly what I want as far as level. No matter if I run up on something and try to raise it, I'm going to make me an adjustable tray that I set up underneath my stoves. Maybe getting a little too hot now. That way, I don't have to worry about trying to get things level much. So I'm going to work on that project. I've got everything I'm sure that it'll take. Like I said, I don't throw nothing away, and I keep a lot of junk laying around. Well, that breeze sure is nice out here. I know that. Uh, yeah, tomorrow we're going to get together, and I'm going to show you how to clean cast iron so you can have some yourself. Because a lot of people, I mean, if it gets rusty and stuff like that, and they find that you drive, sometimes I've driven by a road where they throw out garbage and stuff, and look, there'll be cast iron laying there that somebody's moved into a place or whatever, found it's all rusted up. They're not going to take the time to mess with it. They don't realize the value of it. They just toss it. So we're going to show you how to clean it up and use it for yourself. What do you think about that? Because there's nothing like it. I mean, It's fun. It's actually fun. And the maintenance is nothing on it. Well, I tell you what, I'm sure enjoying these cloudy days. Man, am I enjoying these cloudy days. Tell you what I'm going to do. Yesterday, I had planned on kind of showing you the interior of my schoolie. We're going to add that to this video today. Now, what I'm going to do is, I thought about this last night. My favorite time in this is winter because you got the fireplace going, you got all that. And I actually recorded the inside of this back in the fall. So the video I'm going to show you is going to be one that I shot back in the fall of the year. It's just so much more nicer setup in the summertime. You're just trying to make do with air conditioning and all that. I don't know if that's trying to get too hot on me or not. Let's put a little bit more oil on that skillet. Yeah, I think it is. I'm going to have to figure out the adjustment on this little sucker too, looks like. But yeah, the video I shot is going to be video that I shot of it back in the winter. It's a lot nicer video, better than what I can do right now. For one thing, I've got a lot of camping stuff that I've got in here right now that I don't really want to take out and then have to turn around and put back in right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you video that I've already shot. This is a 95 GMC Mandira diesel engine, the 5.7 diesel engine. I get about 12 to 13 miles of the gallon on average. But now I haven't tried to pull anything, and I'm thinking about adding a little pop-up camper to this in case somebody wants to go with me sometime. I'm sure that's going to bring down gas mileage. That's the reason I want to pop up, so it's not catching a lot of wind behind me. Because I've got friends who'd love to go with me, but this is just not set up really to have company spend the night with you. And so I am looking to add a pop-up camper to this. But it's been a good rig. Like I said, all it is a 3500 GMC van that's cut away and this box put on it to make it a school bus. And I tell you, when you're driving it, if somebody didn't tell you you were in a bus, you would think you were just in a vehicle, regular truck. I mean, and especially since I put all this insulation in there, it don't ride like a bus. I mean, it don't sound like a bus. It's a pretty quiet ride. You know how a school bus, if you've ever ridden on one, boy, they're kind of loud going down the road. With all the insulation and stuff I've put in, it's not loud whatsoever. You know, you could actually sit in there and talk. Before I put that insulation, if you're sitting more than a foot away from somebody, you couldn't hear them talk. You could hear the noise, but you couldn't understand what they were saying. So, but anyway, I am going to, now I do have power. I can have shore power, plus I've got a Blue Eddy power bank, and then I've got an Echo, I think it's called Echo power bank. So I've got power. I am going to add solar, and I think I've got everything, but I want to learn to do it myself. I don't really want someone else to do it. So I'm doing my own research on it. on how to set it up and everything like that. And I'm sure they've got videos out there, because I've seen some of them, that show people like me who knows absolutely nothing about solar how to set this system up. So I want to do it myself. I think it'd be a fun project for me. Now, solar in the south isn't going to be as beneficial as it would be if I lived, say, California, something like that, where they got sun all the time. You know, basically, they have a lot of good luck with it there. But we are beginning to have a lot of solar farms, though, in the south. There's hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of acres in the south just that are nothing but solar panels. So, but my experience is very limited when it comes to solar. But I am going to look into doing it. Okay. Well, I've got these cooked up, and we're going to get us some butter and stuff, syrup, and we're going to sit over there and we're going to tear into them and visit a little bit more. So stand by. All right, we're going to sit down here and we are going to see what we did here. Guys, I know that was a very short little video of my interior, but I did shoot that back when it was cooler. As you can see, it's designed not only for me to camp in, but it's also, I've got it set up for the young ones to enjoy it too. We're taking parks and things in the winter months, and they can do their artwork and play around. So I try to have things got more than one use to them. So I hope you enjoyed it. But we're going to see what we got here. Give this one. And I've told you before, this old boy likes syrup on his pancakes. You know, I got sausage in the pancakes, simmering in the pancakes, and got a piece of sausage on the side. So I can't go wrong with that, can I? Yeah, let's give this a whirl. Mm-mm-mm. Guys, that right there, I'm telling you, is delicious. Like I said, we're going to be here at the homestead for a few days. Uh, I've got some things I want to add to my schoolie. And we've got some things right here that needs to be taken care of. But we're going to still do our videos. We're just going to shoot them from here. Again, I want to appreciate everybody who has joined us, come to visit. Remember, tomorrow we're going to show you how to clean cast iron. Guys, it's so simple. And I'd hate for you to see a piece of cast iron and pass it up just because it's nasty looking. Because it's so simple to clean it up. It really is. And it's very, very inexpensive. Once you get started, there really isn't that much expense from that point on. Once you get everything set up, there really isn't. I'm going to say, You might have a $10 investment to start out with, because most likely you're going to have everything that I'm going to show you. Uh, if you're somebody who's got a garage or something like that at your house or something like that, and you do a little bit of your own maintenance and stuff, most likely going to have most of what it's going to take to do it. So I want you to come back tomorrow and see that video. If you like my videos, hit like. If you want to see some more, hit subscribe. Try, if you get an opportunity, share the videos. That'll help our channel out a little bit. And ring that bell, obviously, so if next one comes up, you know when it's available, because sometimes uh, they'll post around noon. Sometimes it can be in the evening or whatever. Sometimes it takes a long time for a video. It depends on where you're at. It takes quite a while for a video to upload. Even though you'd like to see it post that day, it could be the next day. Or if you're out where there's no signal, it could be days later. So hit that bell so you know uh, when the next one's going to come. And I hope to see you down the road.